Welcome back to Mega Man Zero. Last time, we went to the Neo Arcadia Shrine and did the first phase of actually entering Neo Arcadia. Now we're going to be doing the second leg, which is gonna be pretty short, as you can probably see. But we will be getting the final Cyber Elves of the game and getting some of perhaps the best dialogue in all of Mega Man Zero. So yeah, elevator stage, just be wary of basically everything. You've got little room to move, but at the same time you don't need much room to move. It does help to know what's coming up, so a few retries might be necessary, but yeah, this isn't too bad. And then we have, I think this is where spikes start. Nope, we got a few more seconds, but yeah. More so than the stage itself, though, I want to talk about Copy X. So, back in Mega Man X7, I mentioned how the way X acted in that game did seem kind of like a prelude to something later on in the series, and this is exactly what I'm talking about, though because they did change it from actual X to Copy X, that does change some of the context a little bit. So, right, as a quick recap, X went full-on pacifist in X7, but in a way where he was just kind of a dick. He was very judgmental, and didn't really... like, he didn't want to kill people, but he didn't seem to care as much, and I feel like that could have been used as kind of an intro to this. It never lasted in the series. He was more or less back to normal in X8, and it feels more like an anomaly the way it was implemented. But I think, in general, that does get you used to what if X was an asshole? And yeah, that's just this game, though. Because it's a copy, it goes from, this is a game about, you know, X and how he's just as corruptible as any other Reploid. He's not just inherently better because he's X. But it does still mean that the ideal of X can be corrupted. Also, here we go. You're too big to be a slug. Just get lost. This is the kind of thing that Zero says when he's all alone. The boss doesn't speak, Ciel's not on the radio for some reason, so he's just like, you're too big to be a slug. Anyway, this is Rainbow Devil, and this is the best devil fight conceived in the Mega Man series, because it works pretty much nothing like the devils in the early games. He, of course, can come apart a little bit, but it's not about pattern recognition and just doing the same tedious thing over and over again, and if your memory sucks ass, too bad, idiot. No, he will separate his bits in pieces, but you can attack him pretty constantly, and, like, you can read much smaller attacks that aren't just, again, a slog to just wait through overall. It's honestly pretty cool. It's a dynamic fight, elementless, so you can't hit him with a weakness, and there we go. All done. See, that's way better than any other devil fight, because the rest of them are garbage. Pretty much always. I don't like them. I don't think that's a hot take. Anyway, I guess I could have done that slightly faster, but whatever. It's a climbing stage. I did pretty well. So, Ciel made it here already. I guess she was just primed and ready to get in the trans server. The moment we killed Rainbow Devil, that probably just unlocked, and she came up here, because she needs to apologize one more time for creating Copy X. So yeah, I've never really seen people complain too much about it being Copy X instead of Real X. Even though the reason it happened is, the kids might not like that, and also we're trying to sell the X series, so we don't want him to be evil. I think most people are fine with it being X is used as a symbol of peace, and when X disappeared for whatever reason, everybody kind of panicked and said, well, we could make a new X, right? And no. It's kind of a repeat of what happened with, you know, every Reploid in the X series, where they just looked at X and were like, we can do that again, right? And they couldn't. Like, X did need all of those years to test, you know, in case of going mad with power. Because, like, they started making Reploids and all of them are susceptible to the Sigma virus. Whatever Wily did, It just really screwed with all Reploids except X, though. Again, I think it's important to note that X isn't pure and good forever. He does actually have to be mindful of himself, lest he become a guy like he was in X7, or the way Copy X is here, where he is sacrificing other Reploids for the sake of humanity, which is also bad in its own way. But yeah, I guess at the end of the day, it's about what X means to humanity in this game, rather than being strictly X himself, and I think that's still a good plot beat. You know, even though it's no longer, this is the actual X. I think they managed to pivot to something that really works. Or doesn't work, because next time in Mega Man Zero, we're out to kill him. we're going to kill Copy X. Let us at him, we'll get his ass.